In this Clock Repair Essentials video, we're going to look at preparing another tool so that you can use it on clocks. This time, it's going to be blade screwdrivers. We've already seen how to set up a Phillips head screwdriver. Now we're going to look at blade screwdrivers because we tend to use them more often than Phillips heads when we're working on clocks. The first thing we have to do, I'll show you a couple of photos in a moment, but you can see there's a big difference in the angle of these blades. This screwdriver is a version clock and watch repair screwdriver made specifically to fit clock screws. Now that angle down there, as I'll show you in a moment in a photo, is 21.3 degrees and it's flat all the way through. There's no semi-bevel on the end of it. That's 21.3 degrees. I'll show you how I got that figure in the next photo. I'm using an angle finding tool to assess the angle of the blades. Note that both sides of the blade of the screwdriver are touching both arms of the angle finder. There you can see the digital readout on the angle finder records a measurement. And the next one is a pretty much standard blade screwdriver that you would buy in a box store anywhere around the place. And as we'll discover in a moment, I will show you the photo. This angle here is 14.2 degrees. So before you can use this screwdriver in screws on a clock, it has to be modified to approximately 21 degrees so that it will fit into a clock screw. Here you can see that both sides of the blade of the screwdriver are touching both arms of the angle finder. The digital readout on the angle finder records the actual measurement. Alright, now I'll draw a bit wonky, but it will serve the purpose. We'll assume that that is a clock screw. Now the specific version tools we saw before will fit down into there. The tip will go right to the base and it will come out there again and proceed up there for the shaft. So because the blade fits all the way down here in the groove on the screw, there's a lot of friction along both sides there, and you'll find that the screwdriver tip will remain in the groove there. It won't jump out and catch up here and make a mess of the top of the screw. I'll just remove that. Looking at the other screwdriver we were looking at, the big box store one, which was 14.2 degrees. If you use that inside a clock screw, you will see that the blade, exaggerated, comes down like that. And neither of these two sides of the blade actually touch the V in the screw. Consequently, as you're turning the blade round to tighten the screw, it's very easy for the tip to slide up and jump out of the slot in the screw on either side, and that's where you get damaged screws from in clocks and anywhere else for that matter too, but we're talking specifically clocks. So that's how that problem starts. So what we want to do is remove that problem, and this is how you do it. I'm going to show you two ways to solve that problem. This is the easiest way to get your screwdriver up and running without having to buy a special tool. This one here, that I'll show you how to use it in a moment. But initially, what we want is a fine stone and our screwdriver blade. There we go, you can see it there. And some oil. We'll put a few drops of oil on the stone to start, and then taking up your screwdriver, press the blade flat and hold it with your finger, and then move the blade over the oil and start to drag some of the oil back towards the end of the stone. You don't need a lot of pressure, just a little bit, and bear in mind that it's not the stone specifically. I'll move some of that oil down. That's cleaning up and putting a nice shiny edge, as you can see there, nice shiny edge on your screwdriver blade, it's actually the slurry that's down here that's doing the work. So keeping your finger on the blade, your index finger, rub it backwards and forwards slowly. You don't need very much pressure. Then clean the blade up, wipe the oil off it. You can have a look and see that that is getting nice and shiny now. If you weren't quite sure whether you had the angle correct or not on your blade, take a marking pen and mark the tip of the blade black. Let it dry for a second. I'll put another drop of oil on that, a bit closer to the end we're working on. There we go. And then take the black side of your blade, put your index finger on it and start rubbing it up and down the stone, keeping it within the slurry that does the cutting. 10 or a dozen stripes should be sufficient initially. Take up the blade, clean it, have a look at it, and you can see there's now nice and shiny. Do a little bit more on the other side. You'll see there's a tiny micro bevel on the bottom of that. While I turn it around a bit, there we go. You can see the tip is a lot shinier than the rest of it. So it means we've got a micro bevel on that which we want to get rid of. You'll notice it's not on that side. We've got rid of the one on that side. See, it's gone. Alright, so now we'll get rid of that one. Align it once again on the slurry. Index finger on the tip, holding the handle of the screwdriver in your thumb and fingers. Work it backwards and forwards under a little bit of pressure with your index finger. And then once you've done a dozen stripes, take it up, have a look at it, and you can see that it's slowly disappearing. There's a little bit on that side, so we'll continue that for a moment. Check it again. We've got to remove it on that side. Index finger and repeat the operation, keeping the entire blade from there to there flat on the stone. Don't lift it up or you're going to put bevels, micro bevels and stuff on it. Alright, well there we go. That is now fixed that blade. That's looking pretty good. Now the last thing we've got to do is take any burrs off the flat end. So we hold the screwdriver perpendicular like so and then slowly draw it back 3 or 4 times should be sufficient. Clean the blade again and then have a look, and that looks pretty good. Nice and shiny all the way up and all on one bevel. Alright, that's the first way we can do it, and I would imagine most people would do it that way because you probably don't own one of these little toys, which I'm going to show you how to use now, but it works quite similarly. I'll grab a different screwdriver. Oh, it's the one that's a specially modified one. That one is. Right, I'll leave that now. What we do now with this little beast here is we open the screw on it and slot our screwdriver through, and then once you've got the angle you want, tighten the nut down. That will then keep, not on that it won't because it's a bit too thin. Alright, I'll find a screwdriver with a slightly fatter shaft on it, if we can get it through there. And alright, we're not going to. Alright, back to the same screwdriver apparently. I thought I had another one lying round here. I think the end of that's too big to get through. Yep, that won't go through. Alright, we'll go back to the green one again because I think this will probably fit. I will see if we can tighten it down sufficient. Yep, that's going to hold. Only just, but it does. So once again, we check, have a look at the bevel, make sure that the blade is resting fully on the stone. I'll put a little bit more, another couple of drops of oil there. Then very carefully roll the screwdriver up along the stone. Take that off and clean it. Alright, now I'll turn it over, we'll do the other side, tighten the nut down again, finger on the blade holding it parallel to the stone and roll it backwards and forwards. You're maintaining a constant angle with this little wheel thingamajig here. Alright, not a lot of room to move here actually under the camera, but once again I'll run over the first method because that's the one that most people will probably use. I'll put another couple of drops of oil on the stone. The oil gradually seeps into the stone, that's why it has to be replaced regularly. A little bit of black pen on the tip on both sides. We want to make sure that they're clean when we're finished. Align the blade flat on the stone, index finger on it, little bit of pressure and rub backwards and forwards. Doesn't take much. Clean the slurry off it and that looks good. Alright, the other side now. Another couple of drops of oil. Mark the tip of the blade again with a black marker pen. Light pressure, backwards and forwards. Clean the blade, and that is looking pretty good, and that's exactly what we want for working on our clock screws with. Now this guy here, I'll do a little bit of work on. This is a long shaft screwdriver that I use to remove case screws in some clocks that are pretty deep and a standard screwdriver won't reach the end. Alright, so this hasn't been done for a while. I can see there's a micro bevel on the end there and we'll level that out. Okay, same deal. Index finger on the blade, push it down onto the stone and rub it backwards and forwards. After a dozen or so, take the screwdriver up, wipe the slurry off it, have a look. This only needs to be done maybe once every 6 months, just a little tune up. So that's how easy it is to sort your screwdriver out. If you don't have one of those measuring devices that I have for measuring angles on tools, then you would use one of your, and naturally I can't see any lying around here at the moment, but you'd use one of your clock screws and then try to fit the blade into it and see and look at it sideways and see how much of the top and the bottom of the blade are actually meshing with the side of the screw, and you would keep going until you got the angle correct, and it'll make a huge difference when you're working on clocks. And you won't have horrible messes on the top of your screws because the blade has dropped out. All right. Now, as I slowly turn the winding arbor, the J-hook is being lifted up on the pin down there on the bottom of the minute arbor, and this lever here that's in a deep slot in the maintenance cam is lifted clear, as you can see. And at this point in time, the movement is in warning. It's waiting to start striking. And then as soon as the J-hook drops off that pin, the spring transfers its power up through those wheels and the maintenance cam starts to turn. It's just sitting here at the moment because there's no spring on there, but it starts to turn, and that lever there then falls on that piece of the maintenance cam there and continues to run round until such times as the count lever drops into a deep slot somewhere on the count wheel. So that's what happens.